Cosplay performances can be hard to create. Aside from contests often requiring you to make your own costume, style your own wig, do your own makeup, you suddenly need to be both an actor, a scriptwriter, sonographer, perhaps a voice actor, sound design technician, you name it. You need to do it all. And the skill level required to plan and make a performance can differentiate from contest to contest, but one thing above all else is fundamental when it comes to making a cosplay performance: storytelling. Many of you might have had lessons in school regarding this topic. I myself remember being told about the fish structure, but the details have become quite fuzzy and forgotten over the years. So I decided to Frankenstein a model out of it, and it has worked for me for many years. So basically that's what this YouTube series will be about. I will share my knowledge that I have gathered over the years with all of you guys to hopefully learn from and enjoy. First of all, I want to make a disclaimer. Cosplay culture is different in every country. Not two are the same. There might be similarities and a lot of the things that we do have in common, but certain types of performances will do better in one country than they will in another. Furthermore, this topic is also highly subjective, and you can find many skilled people out there with a lot of different opinions. And it's just part of what makes this part of cosplay really fun and interesting, I think. What I will be sharing with you guys is all based on my own experiences as both a cosplay performer myself through 18 years by now, as well as an experienced judge in competition through roughly 10 years in various countries all over the world. This does, however, not correlate to my way being the only way. It is simply just this: my way. Now, with all that aside, let's dive into the first episode. In order to give answers to the title of this video, we need to clarify what a great performance is. A great performance can be summarized into two very simple aspects: storytelling and showmanship. Now, this of course is greatly simplified and we need to dive deeper into it, but at the bottom line, this is the first thing you need to keep in mind when you start brainstorming your performance. I usually combine this into a single sentence that will forever be the baseline of every performance I make. Show, don't tell. But first let's dive into storytelling. Remember the fish I mentioned earlier? Let's go fishing a bit deeper for that one. Every story needs a beginning, a middle, and an end. This brings out the first challenge. How do you compress all of that into just a few minutes? This is no easy task, and it is often where I see people either discard the story part entirely or go into way too much detail. I myself have been guilty of both of these things before, and I tell you, I have made some really cringe performances today that I can't watch without my face turning inwards like this very specific Danish frog. For this aspect of creating the story, I like to think of it this way. Your performance has to be understood by someone who has no knowledge of your source material. This means that any unnecessary information in order to understand what's going on during those few minutes on stage has to be carefully considered before you add it. You rather want to show a simple story than to tell the audience a story through a spoken monologue of the source material lore. As an example, if you want to portray conflict on stage, just think about whether or not it's important that the audience know that Bobby had their homeland destroyed when they were 5 years old and their dog ran away and now they obtained the magical power of creating the world's hottest noodle soup, if their fight with Sylvia is about who has to take out the trash that night. A tight story centered around what's going on stage right now tends to be more easily understood and captivating to the audience than a live performance of an audiobook. The other side of this simplicity model that we dive into is the showmanship. You'll see many performances going very heavy on showmanship without necessarily having a story behind it. This of course can work if that is the course you stick to and go all out. Just the same as for storytelling, you can make a good performance that doesn't have much flair and special effects, but it's still good. And you can have an engaging performance that portrays showmanship only. Both are good, but combining them, and I personally believe that you're starting to create something that isn't just good, but great. Try to think of it this way. You go to the cinema to watch a movie. When you walk out, you might say things like, "The story was really good, but I wish the special effects and visuals had been better, but I still liked it." Or it might be in the opposite end. It was very beautiful shot, very cinematic and emerging, but I didn't really understand the plot. Still, I enjoyed it. But now picture this. You walk out and you can't wait to tell your friends about how they should go watch this movie because the story was captivating, the music, the lights, the scenery, everything was beautiful. The last scenario is more satisfying because it leaves the audience with the emotional response of the show's visuals, but it's also giving them this feeling of enrichment after being told a good story. So in summary so far, we have the storytelling and the showmanship aspects, which combined give the overall entertainment value. At all times, keep this as your base for your performance, but there's so much more to it that can be explored. If you're with me so far, great. Now you deserve a little break, so let's make space for this video sponsor. I'm just joking, there isn't any sponsor, it's just me in my craft room. But if you want to support my work, you can head over to patreon.com/TimYasuo or find a link to my shop down in the description below where you can get yourself an ugly cat t-shirt, like the one I'm wearing here. It's very comfortable, but it's basically just a lot of memes. There are different ones, so go check that out if that is to your liking. Otherwise, you can support by simply just liking this video, subscribing, and leaving a comment down below. And as all those popular YouTubers always say, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss the next episode. We'll dive into details about how you can actually use this knowledge in a practical way for yourself when you create performances. I'll talk about the construction of the story for the stage, as well as going over my own high point theory, which will help you keep a flow, maintain audience attention, and to add some showmanship part to your performance. So I would like to know, what are your thoughts on this topic? Have you performed before? Are you new to it and you want to test out the waters? Please leave a comment down below so we can get some community-based discussion going and just give each other tips and tricks. That is all for now, so thank you, stay hydrated, don't con crunch. Until next time.